It's all right to cry at your father's funeral. Not a soul would think less of you for doing so. No? All right. I can't blame you for it, I suppose. I acted very much as you do now when my father passed. It has been a while. I didn't shed a tear that day. I never shed a tear until I finally acknowledged his death. Lord knows that was years later. It's amazing to think about. It took me years before I had come to terms with the death of my father, but I will never forget that day. And neither will you, son. When you finally accept, when you finally understand, when you finally cry for the death of this man, it will either be the day you yourself become a father or the day of your death. Mark it, boy.
Why are you here?
I beg your pardon?
Everyone else has left, yet here you are. I don't know you personally, so why are you here?
Son, there's nothing
What is your profession?
What?
Your profession. What is your profession?
Well, I deal with an extraction business of the sort, mostly.
Oil? Who told you? Who told you that we had oil on our land?
Your father did, Ulysses. Years before you were born, when your mother still lived, I conversed with your father, who told me of this rare resource on your land.
My father?
Yes, son. I understand that this plot of land is going up for auction, as you're unable to maintain it alone, and I do intend to buy this land. However, I promised your father long ago that I would offer you my help after his passing, and so I've come today to negotiate terms for a partnership in my oil company. What say you?
What do I have to offer?
Well, I assume your father left you some money, did he not?
A meager $6,000.
And the farm is worth but $10,000? Let's say you put up your $6,000 and I put up my $4,000, as it's all I can afford right now, and together we buy this plot of land. What say you? Partners? Excellent.
Thank you,
Comstock. Eli Comstock.
Thank you, Mr. Comstock.
Please, call me Eli.
All right. Thank you, Eli. Eli!
Yes, my boy.
Can I take a look at the map?
Of course.
Thank you.
Soon we will be immensely rich thanks to this hole of oil. Soon we'll move on.
What? Eli,
Yes.
what is this mark right here?
Well, that's the graveyard.
Before front. Are you telling me that you plan to dig a hole of oil where my mother and father are buried? Answer me!
That plot has by far the most oil of any on this property. Fie on your whore mother and drunkard father. You're an oil man now. Behave like one.
Don't you dare.
I do as I please, boy.
Don't call me... Ah!
Disobey me again, boy? Ulysses, please, dear God, please help me, please, no, no, God.
Now, I understand that the loss of your barnyard to that fire was very tragic. But you need not worry. Now that I've offered to buy your farm for far beyond its present worth, you've no longer to fear bankruptcy. And in due time, it will become a productive and profitable oil field.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mason.
By all means, Mr. Twimble. It was my pleasure.
Mr. Mason?
Yes, well?
It's a girl, Mr. Mason.
I see.
Also, Mr. Mason, Mrs. Mason bled profusely. There was not much to be done. She did not make it, Mr. Mason. Have you a name for your new daughter, sir?
Annabelle. I shall call her Annabelle. Yes.
Yes, Jebediah, we can make the demarcations of our oil fields after the wedding. Now, be gone. Leave your wife-to-be approaches.
Annabelle, you look ravishing, darling. I can't begin to explain how immensely this bond between you and Mr. Sharp will benefit my company. He's by far the most accomplished oilman in all of America. It's very lucky for both of us that he's taken an interest into you. I fear you'd be too young, but it doesn't seem to bother Jebediah in the least. So, what say you?
I do not wish to marry him, father.
I beg your pardon?
I do not wish to marry him. As you say, he is too old. He's divorced prior and his breath smells of liquor. He's not a pleasant man, dear father. Why should I have to marry him?
Because I said so.
I do not!
Listen to me, you ungrateful little harlot. Do not doubt the will of your father. He knows what is best. Now, this marriage will benefit my company. You don't want me to be a failure, do you?
You're hurting me!
Get out of here. Go on, get. A man should never raise a hand against his child. Rather, he should do so against his enemy. Therefore, I shall have to attack Mr. Sharp. But how? Perhaps the shareholders. They trust him too much? It's a risk I'm willing to take. Very well. Turn the shareholders against Mr. Sharp. And then, only then, will I truly become powerful.
He who is nailed to the cross is Lord and the ruler of nature. All things created on earth.
Sharp! Where is he? There you are. I demand restitution for the attacks ordered against me and mine.
I did nothing to you that you did not plan for me. This is business. Vengeance comes next.
You are under the impression that you can encroach on my territories, poach my customers, and undercut my agents. You're deluded. I will burn your empire as a lark burned Rome. I will auction your desiccated limbs of your fortune for a fraction of their worth. Once I have driven your company into bankruptcy. Your workers who trusted you, shall I disemploy. Your shareholders who lay content following their old master as dogs, shall I impoverish. And you, Jebediah, you shall I put in a whorehouse. You're no match against me, filth. What say you now? Nothing? You've nothing to say. People of the church, witness before you all a doomed soul, whose final resting place shall be the ninth circle of hell. This bastard, who so coveted the oil that I worked tooth and nail to extract, shall now burn for his sin. Fear, people of the congregation, and learn from the misdeeds of one who so dared to offend a God among men. Begone, Jebediah! Shame yourself no longer in the flock that you have forsaken.
Ulysses! I intend...
He speaks! He speaks! What could you possibly do against me now?
First, Ulysses, I intend to make you bleed. Deuteronomy 32:35. Vengeance belongeth to me, and recompense. For the day of their reckoning is at hand, and the thing that shall act upon them make haste.
Fool! Filth! People of the congregation, mark this moment, for vengeance follows hereafter. I have work to do. Continue praying. Sorry, Dad. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad. What could I have done to make this better, Father? Answer me. Answer me.
Mason! Get off of my land, Mason.
No. No.
Mason!
No!
Get off of my land.
It's not your land
It's
anymore.
my land.
No! This is my father's grave. You leave me alone.
On my land.
Leave me be, Sharp.
Leave my property.
This was my land. I've lost everything now. I'm nothing. I should die for what I've done. Seems rather appropriate, don't you think?
Get off of my land.
No.
Very well.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by and by? Is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky, in the joyous days of childhood, of fate's hope, of wondrous love, pointed to the dying Savior. Now they dwell with him above. Will the circle be unbroken by and by and by? Is a better home awaiting in the sky?